Alright. You should be able to hear this. Yes. Cool. Alright. Just to give a rundown of what I am doing today, I am working on my VTuber model on the side while watching these with you guys. Yeah. Let's have a fun, good stream. Which, actually, now that I think of it... Let me go ahead and do that. Oh, shoot, wait. Let me, come on. Watching more. Alright. Alright, I think I'm good. I do think I'm good.
Murder mysteries have long been one of the most popular mini-games associated with Minecraft, with countless versions of them found all across the internet. And in my search for a new ARG to cover, I came across this channel, which offered a new take on the murder mystery genre and even boasted that no one would be able to fully solve the story. Okay, challenge accepted. But imagine my shock when I discovered that the project had been left unfinished due to one of the players getting into
Ayo, ayo, hello.
a terrible accident. And the further I dug, the more I felt something wasn't right. So I became way too determined to find out not only who the killer was in the game, but also in real life. This is the Murder Project.
Alright,
When we look at the first video, we are immediately thrust into a conversation between someone whose name in this experiment seems to just be Player 2, and we seem to be watching from the POV of Player 1. The conversation goes,
"Do you want to share what your role is?"
Not if you don't know all.
That's so fair.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go talk to other people.
yeah. Also, hi. Hi. I'm not late. Yeah, I have like a queue of like 5 of them. I need to add yours, Vin, but I'm adding just a couple of them. I don't know how many we're gonna get through. I'm working on my VTuber model on the side while listening, because like I was working on it for the past like maybe hour or so, and I just kept thinking, I was like, man, I just want to listen to this, and I need to stream. Then eat.
I've got no idea
Find your scraps.
what they mean.
Why does that E look like that? Why does the S look like that? Why does anything look like this? Why does the R? I don't like that.
By roles, but Player 1 writes to just us viewers, quote,
I don't trust her. I'm calling it now. She's evil.
It was at this point I
Ayo.
decided to go back to the channel and try to get some context. There was a link tree, and upon clicking on it, I found a master document that has the names, locations, and jobs of every person participating in this experiment. And I'm blurring most of it because I don't know if these are real people, but so far we've seen Player 1, Otto, talk with Player 2, Ava. I'm gonna call these two the palindromies because both their names are palindromes. And like,
Hi ma'am, it's me, your Taka, your favorite irresponsible boy. It is my favorite Taka. I'm so happy to have Taka back. My favorite irresponsible boy.
We get one more conversation in this first video. It's between Player 7 and 3. Now, Player 3 asks,
"What's your role?"
and Player 7 responds.
I feel like I shouldn't say it yet.
These two actually decide to make a truce, one that I'm going to name the 21-year-old Alliance because...
Okay, by the way, I don't know what to do. Is bro doing murder mystery, but the long way, I'll be watching but not typing. I get it. I be doing stuff too. So my model, I was debating on a lot of things with it, and right now I think I'm gonna get rid of the bag. So I would plan for my 2.0 model to have a bag, a side bag that's there, but I think that is an idea we'll have to work into another time. Because Miku doesn't have a bag. So I can't have a bag. I am thinking about how to put Cat onto the model, and one of the ways I was thinking of doing it was having Cat in a bag. But I think I would love to keep the bag, and maybe if I update this model and add more stuff, I'll add the bag. But I think it would be best to not do the bag, just because it will put a ton more work onto me that I just don't think I should do. Yeah, I think we're getting rid of the bag. So there's something that you guys know about 2.0 model, Cat in the Bag, Persona 5 style. Wait, I need to look that up. Wait. I need to look that up. Cat in the Bag Persona. Cat in bag, bag, bag. Persona. Oh my gosh, actually? Can I bring this over here? Oh no! It's pulling up something else! It's pulling up something else! Alright, let's, wait, let's... We can minimize this by a lot. Wait, there you go. I don't know what's on there, so we're not looking at that. This is actually kind of what I was thinking. Like, 100% kind of what he look, but like Cat was kind of looking like here. Let me see if I can get a screenshot. Oh yeah, I can get a screenshot. Let me grab this and put, I'm gonna minimize that. Put that there. There we go. Image. I'm gonna change this image right here. Do that, do that. And there we go. That is the bag. Which by the way, you can see is not very detailed. I was kind of trying to get the idea down more, but yeah. Fun fact, it's canon, he has pop. Oh. 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 He is in the bag the whole game, like, that's his transportation. He does not walk because lazy. That is why Cat is on shoulder. That is 100% why Cat is on shoulder. Because Cat is too lazy to walk themselves. 100%. And it's just like, oh, well, I'm here. I don't care. I'm here. But yeah, this is what the design looked like. So, there you go. I guess we're scrapping it. Scrappy dappy doo! Well, that's your special thing of the day. Now, let's go back to that thing. Let's go back to that thing.
According to that document, they both happen to be 21. All right, with that out of the way,
21.
here's where the puzzle really begins. I'll let you watch it.
That's weird. Wait, what is happening? Good morning.
So this project is basically testing if a random group of players who don't know each other are able to figure out who the bad guys are with zero prior knowledge. It's like a game of cracked up mafia or werewolf, except if you look at this form on the link tree, we can see that the game itself is a combination lock where we have to figure out every person's role in order to progress to the next part of this ARG. I'm starting to see why they assumed no one was going to be able to solve this story. The only thing that we know for 100% in this game is that there are two bad players, a poisoner and a murderer. The murderer, spoiler alert, murders, and the poisoner makes someone's information wrong, but they don't know. What information? Well, let's take a look. It's announced to us that player 2 has been murdered, so rest in peace to one half of the palindromies. However, player 2 apparently isn't removed from the experiment quite yet. We see player 3, one of the 21-year-old guys, decides to confide with the recently deceased some important information. His role. He tells player 2 that he is the doctor, which is when this pop-up happens. This role is the saving grace for the good team. It is the only way that players can find out if they have been poisoned. You remember that thing where your role stops working, but you have no idea? Yeah, that. So the doctor picks a person every night to test, and if they're positive, then their role isn't working that day, and if they're negative for poison, then they're all good. But this comes with a downside. When someone is positive for poison, it could either be true, and that person has wrong info, false, and the doctor themselves is now poisoned, or the person tested is just the poisoner themselves because the poisoner will always test positive. I should be discouraged by how complicated this is, but Mama didn't raise a quitter. She just raised a stubborn guy who tries to solve niche internet mysteries. So player 3, the doctor, checked player 2 for poison and it tested positive. And while this is all great info, like I say, none of it's concrete because there's even a world where our doctor here is lying out of his cheeks and is evil himself. But now we cut over to player 7 and player 4 has come by to visit. They chat and we see player 7 say,
What are you?
and player 4 responds,
I don't want to say, but I'm not that great of a role.
but player 7 decides to just come out with their role, which is the villager, who has zero ability. So while that's a bit boring for him, it at least makes it easier on my mind to remember all of these roles. Player 7 sharing this gives player 4 enough trust to share a little bit more info. He says, quote,
It also sucks because you were protected last night.
and player 7 asks, what role does that? And 4 says, the Guardian. They both have a good laugh about how 4 protected the one useless character, but all I'm thinking about at this point is just that this doesn't confirm anything. 4 can claim they protected someone all they want, but unless no one dies in the night, we just don't know for sure. Shoot, I protected your mom last night. You got no proof that I didn't. Anyway, 4 tells 7 they're gonna go tell one other person they're the Guardian.
Okay.
This feels like a random fact, but just remember it for later. And then this is basically it for useful conversations. We see player 3 try to hide the fact that he's the doctor to player 5. So instead says, quote, I won't confirm that I'm the doctor, but if I were, no, I didn't check you. Terrible lying. So then in the video, this sort of console appears, and it seems like the public chat has opened. And now these 7 randos have to figure out if they want to execute someone that they think is evil or skip and just go into the next day. Well, I guess not 7. Hashtag justice for player 2. Player 7 comes out and tells everyone that they're the villager still, and people sort of joke about killing him just because he is useless, but they end up deciding not to execute anyone. But here's what's interesting, because at the last minute, we see player 6 blurt out, quote, if you're the doctor, check me tonight, and before anyone can react, the video ends. So let's take a step back, because one person has already died to the murderer and another is about to. And with most games like this, you can typically assume that the players killed by the murderer are good players, and thus we can trust their roles. But I realized that on the first night, it never actually said that the bad players knew who each other were. So I wanted to confirm and see if this was the case, and I left a comment under one of the YouTube videos asking about just this. The channel responded and said, quote, "The evil players are not informed of who each other are." So every person killed by the murderer could just be lying about their role and actually be the evil poisoner, including player 2, which, did we ever even find out what she was claiming her role was? God damn it.
The neighbors told info. The guardian protects someone. Murderer kills a player. The doctor tested someone. Good morning.
All right, folks, here is where the drama really starts, because it is announced to us that no one has died. Now, we find out that this can happen for two reasons. Either the guardian protected the person who was set to die, or the murderer accidentally got poisoned by the poisoner. But the spicy part happens when player 4, who is claiming guardian, goes to visit player 1. Now, player 4 writes a full MLA format essay here, but allow me to kindly summarize it all for you. So it turns out player 4 had this master plan to tell one person and one person only that he is the guardian, and then protect himself the following night. And if no one dies, odds are the person he told probably tried to get an easy kill on him and remove one of the best roles from the game. And if you recall, that person was player 7, who he did tell 7 he was going to tell other people, so maybe player 7 felt comfortable enough to then try to target him. So player 4 just gave player 1 all of this info, and since they seem to trust each other, player 1 decides to tell 4 that they are the nurse. Now, the nurse essentially just learns who the doctor is on the first night, so based on this, player 4 asks who the doctor is. But player 1 says in way too many words they don't trust player 4 enough yet to give out that information. Player 5 goes to visit player 3, and if you remember, player 3 is claiming the doctor, and 5 actually asked to be tested last night, but player 3 says they actually checked player 6 for poison because they asked him to super last minute, and this makes player 5 so mad because now she doesn't know if the information she got last night is 100% correct. So 5 and 3 have gone from best friends to near enemies, considering that it is a very weird decision as the doctor to test someone who you don't know what their role is. But let's find out another role, shall we? Our quote-unquote doctor goes to visit player 6 and is basically like, "Hey, I went out on a huge limb for you and I tested you, tell me who you are." And player 6 obliges and says, "The Undertaker." Player 6 wanted to confirm that they weren't poisoned because odds are the group is going to execute someone today, and she wants to get concrete, correct info about that person's role, and it turns out that she will, because she texted negative for poison according to the doctor. She says that she's going to come out with all of her info today and will probably die in the night, considering it's a pretty good role, but she'll have time to communicate what role is told to her the next day. And when the public chat opens, she does just that. So now everyone knows that if the doctor isn't lying and she isn't lying, that they will get the correct role of whoever dies tonight. Player 1 asks player 6 who the doctor is, and 6 says that she doesn't want to out them. But this is really weird because player 1, if you remember, is claiming the nurse, so they should already know who the doctor is. And player 4 knows this, but instead of calling it out, he calls out player 7 about that whole master plan I explained earlier and how he's the only one who knew he was the guardian. Player 7 defends himself and brings up what I talked about before with like the poisoner accidentally poisoning the murderer, and then also mentions that maybe the murderer just happened to pick the protected person. The group argues for a bit and then decides it's a bit weird that the guardian, quote unquote, wants to kill player 7 based off of so little evidence, and at the very worst, the Undertaker will find out the truth if player 4 is actually the guardian through her abilities, so they execute player 4. All right, I need a break from this whole game mess, so let's take a deeper dive into this link tree listed on the channel because there's a lot hidden in here. First is on that master document. You may have noticed that there are 2 links available to us. The first is this Twitter page where the only public tweet is this image. I love ARGs so much. Anyway, the other important thing here is that player 2 appears to be the one who passed away during the process of this project. Her name is Ava, and among the information about her is a phone number, which when you call it, you get this voicemail.
You've reached the Ava Shroud. I can't come to the phone right now because I'm busy living my best life. So just leave me a message.
This feels pretty random for them to give us access to. Why let us call this number at all? Well, if you happen to be paying really close attention, in that voicemail, it says that Ava's last name is Shroud, and that Twitter handle is @AutoShroud. These two aren't just palindromies, they're actually related, it seems. So this document claiming that it's, quote, a group of random people is a lie. And the more I look at it, the more it doesn't feel random at all. I mean, if you map out everyone's ages, it's all within a 4-year age range. I think these people actually do know each other, but since no one's gamer tags are actually shown, they have no idea that they do. And that brings me to this last link on the link tree. It's an image of like a Minecraft house as well as a code. Now there's missing digits, but it seems to be an IP address for a Minecraft server. So if we can figure these out, we can find out what's on this mysterious Minecraft server.
Oh, okay. That's
but for
why.
now, let's move on to the next
Try that
video.
again. No. They just go to sleep. The Undertaker learns. Okay. I'm trying. You're confused. Confused about what?
Welcome to the final day. We are told that player 5 has died in the night. Now, we still at this point don't entirely know what player 5's role is. We know that they've been trying to get some accurate information through the doctor, but at this point, they have a limited amount of time to share all their information. So player 5 goes to talk to the nurse or player 1 and explains all that stuff that happened with the doctor and him being a bit weird with his checking. Player 1 immediately is like, hey, I'm the nurse, so I know who the doctor is. And they decide that they are going to each write who they think the doctor is in their own books and then swap at the same time to then find out whose information is right and what's going on. So player 5 writes down player 3 as the doctor and they swap books, and turns out player 1 was told that there is no doctor in play.
Oh.
Finally, thank God. This is huge information because we finally have a direct contradictory claim, which means either the doctor is lying or the nurse is lying. One of them has to be evil. Now, whether they're the murderer or just the poisoner throwing things off, who knows? But to figure the rest of this out, I need to know player 5's role. And perfect timing, because Thea here is about to share with the class that she is the neighbor. The neighbor essentially works where every night you are told how many alive neighbors are evil. And I'll do you a favor and explain this to you in a more interesting way than reading it from a book like I did. So all of these houses are in a circle, which means every person has 2 neighbors, one on either side. Now, each night you find out of the 2 alive neighbors, how many are evil. So let's go through the information that she got night by night. Night 1, her neighbors were player 2 and player 3, and she received a 1, meaning that one of the 2 are evil. Now, by night 2, one of her neighbors had already died. It was player 2, so her new alive neighbors were still player 3 and then also now player 1. And she claims she still received a 1, meaning that one of her alive neighbors was evil. And her neighbors have been the same ever since, and she's saying she got a 1 every single time. So this, assuming it's all true, either means that player 3 is evil, and that's why it stayed a 1, or both player 2 and player 1 are evil, which is why it would stay a 1 even though the neighbors had changed. Or there's a poison that's somewhere in there and that messes everything up, but I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, we see the doctor, which if it's not clear by now, anytime I use anyone's role, I'm using massive air quotes above it. But the doctor goes to visit the Undertaker to see what she found out last night, and she was told apparently that player 4 was indeed the Guardian, and the two decide that this incriminates player 7 because that's who the Guardian thought it was. And then the public chat opens, and it is a mess. We have the Undertaker talking about it being player 7 because the Guardian seemed to be not lying, and then we have the nurse calling out the doctor because he was told there wasn't a doctor. So then the doctor starts fighting back, saying the nurse must be evil, and it is just pure pandemonium until player 7 makes a point that is so stupid that it's actually genius. Player 7 suggests that they don't vote anyone out today. Now, let me explain. So there's 4 people left alive, which means if they execute someone and they're wrong, then it's 3 people left, and the murderer kills someone that night, and since there's no Guardian left, the murderer will win because it's 1 murderer and 1 good guy. So if they skip the executing tonight, the murderer will kill a good guy, and then instead of picking between 4 people, they can pick from 3 people, which is slightly better odds. And while the group isn't happy about it, they decide to do just that. But unfortunately, this is where the problem.
So is he doing a cover of a series that people actually died on, or is he covering a Minecraft series he made in a creepy way? It's either he's covering an ARG, I think, or he made it.
Project gets cut off, and as we know, this was already hard to solve.
I'm not sure
when
myself.
It was supposed to be completed, let alone
I'm here
an
for the story.
incomplete puzzle, but I'm still determined to figure this out. So I left a comment on that community post, basically being like, are you able to tell us who the murderer killed in that final night? Now, while I waited for a response, I turned my attention back to this image and the server IP that it had. Now, if I'm one thing, I am impatient. And if I'm 2 things, I'm impatient and a cheater. So while I don't think I was supposed to figure out this IP yet, I did some research into how server IPs work. This first half before the colon is actually the literal IP address of the server, but this second half is called the port number. Now, Minecraft's default port number is 25565, and most servers will have some number that is close to this. So while I can't reasonably guess what this number is, I can almost guarantee that this number is a 2. And you're probably like, oh, great job, Zach. Only 5 more digits to figure out. Well, I was like, oh, what if every asterisk was replacing a 2? And I'm not kidding, it worked. When I first logged on, I thought I just had a random person's Minecraft server. It just looked like an SMP. But then I found this house, which exactly matches the one in the picture. I was in the right place. Probably the stupidest way I've ever solved a puzzle, but it worked. So this server forces everyone who joins it into adventure mode, which sucks, but doesn't stop me from finding things. I found some signs with the same names as the players on the document. So the link between all these players seems to be they all used to play on this SMP. I counted 5 total bases right here on the surface, and then 2 hidden bases. One was right here, and then the other one I haven't found yet, but there's a sign that says, quote, my hidden base is better than yours. So it's somewhere. But the issue that I have is clearly someone knew all these people to put them together in this game, but there's 7 bases, 7 players, and there's even a 7-player cap on this server. It all seems to point to the fact that every single member of this SMP was playing that murder game. So who set it all up? My money is on whoever is the murderer probably put this whole thing together and gave themselves that role. And it was right around this point that I actually received a response back from the channel. So let's figure out who this murderer is. According to the YouTube channel itself, it was player 7 that died that final night. So that leaves us with 3 remaining players. Let's make a quick case on how each of them could be the murderer, starting with player 1. If player 1 is the murderer, then it's more than likely that player 3 is the doctor, and their information can be trusted. If player 3 is evil, then everything they've said is probably a lie, and it would be so much easier if we had a good nurse and a good doctor who were on the same page and could confirm each other, but here we are. Now, lastly, we have player 6, who seems pretty separated from this whole thing, and maybe seems like they don't have that much evidence against them. However, when we really look at it, a couple of their decisions have been interesting. The first was calling out last minute for the doctor to test them, which, if you're evil, that is a pretty good play in order to kind of make the doctor's ability useless that round. But if you really think about it, if I were given the murderer role, who would I kill on night one? You have no information night one. If you're able to, it'd be awesome to kill the Guardian, but you have no idea who anyone is. So the only thing that you can do is think about the neighbor. The neighbor gets great info about their neighbors. So strategically, me, the murderer, wants to kill my neighbors to stop them getting information.
You can hack if the description says it is a work or fiction or not.
About me as soon as
I'll
possible.
check.
And if you follow this logic, it starts to fall into place. The neighbors of the first person killed, player 2, were player 5 and player 1. Spoiler alert, player 5 died to the murderer, so it's not them, so that leaves player 1. Okay, so who died night 2? Well, no one. But if we assume the Guardian did protect themselves, that means that the murderer genuinely tried to kill player 4, which is, once again, one of player 1's neighbors. But none of these people were actually
Now
the
we can
neighbor.
change the
Player
colors
5
of
was. And
this.
when player 5 died, she was player 1's closest alive neighbor. But all of this requires perfectly correct information all around, which with a poisoner in the game is just unlikely. Unless the poisoner died on night 1. For example, player 2, who was in fact the only positive poisoning reading that the doctor had gotten the entire game. And the poisoner tests positive for poison every single time. What if every single role had been receiving correct information the whole time? The doctor tested positive for poison because it was the poisoner, and then negative the rest of the game because there was no poisoner. They died. The Undertaker was told that player 4 was the Guardian, which was correct. That's what they were claiming. And the neighbor received a 1 on night 1 because they were next to the poisoner. Then the poisoner died, making their new neighbor the murderer, and received a 1 again until they were sadly killed off. The only incorrect information in the whole game was player 1 claiming to be the nurse, and everyone else had right information from the rip. I know you're thinking, there's like so many holes in this, or there's other possibilities. Well, you want to know how I know I'm right? Because I didn't solve this. I just put in random combinations of roles into the form until I got the right answer, and then I sort of backtracked how it all worked out in the game after that. But we did it, boys! All right, so now we know that player 1, or Otto, is not only the murderer, but also is probably the one that has set this whole thing up. And considering that he shares a last name with Ava, who has died, he's suspect number 1 for her death. But what I'm still hung up on is this server. I feel as though there's has to be something more to find here besides this armor that I stole from this house. Oops. So let's at least start at finding that last hidden base. And I already know what you're thinking, Zach, why don't you just download a free cam mod or use replay mod to fly around the world and spectator and find the base? Well, it's because that would be cheating, and I never— Oh, here we go. Okay, I found it. Once inside, we can see this rock formation, which I had seen a couple of scattered around the server, but none of them had this sign. It's an invitation with a YouTube URL, and when you go to it, you are met with this video.
Discovers the murderer, visits your job to find them, message me to join. No one wanted to play. Who did it? Who did I kill?
This video and the different things being said are, sure, creepy.
Is there a, let's see here, opacity of this brush? Because you see here, view, paper, snap, grid, ruler bar, put the screen, window, opacity bar, maybe no, we already have color slider, window, color history, yeah. Is this opacity? I think that's opacity. Alright, there we go. Okay.
But also seemed to be an invitation to play the exact game we just got done solving. And I don't understand what I'm supposed to be getting from this, but all I know is I didn't dwell on that very long, because in this room, we're actually able to steal these items from these item frames, even though we're in adventure mode. And I think the purpose of this is so we have an ender pearl, because there's this hole
Ender
up in a
pearl.
tower. And when you go to inside where this hole should be, you can see the wall has been pushed in a bunch. So all I should have to do is... Okay, so we have these signs that seem to be sort of reporting on what's happening on the server. And using these, we can narrow down the different bases and who they belong to. So it says that Ava's house is, quote, cute, which draws me to this house right here. It says that John had a secret entrance, much like the one we saw here. Leo has the dragon egg, and upon flying around in Spectator, I found it hidden in this like weird pit, which I now assume is his house. I think the underground base with the Ender Pearl is Jess's base, and then since Otto was on vacation, I have to assume this house is his, because the only other house left has a note from Otto himself. But when I finally turned around, I found one more sign that seemed to just have a jumble of characters, but I've been in the biz long enough to know that this is the end of a YouTube URL, so I plugged it in and got... The text reads, "It wasn't her fault," and it seems like we've just really begun to go off the rails, but what I'm getting here is that we're finally starting to get some information about what happened to Ava and how she died, but what is more important to me here is the image in the background. After I brightened it a bit, it seems to be a certain place on the server, and after looking around for a while, I found it, which, of course, led to another YouTube video. It says, "You
Naturally.
have no idea how much I miss her." And I think I recognize that background. I'm pretty sure, because when I was looking around for that underground base, there was a ravine. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Another video. Couldn't take it. Her heart couldn't take it. Okay. Now, this is actually interesting wording to me, and this background I didn't recognize right away until I was following one of those paths of blocks, and it led to this like nether portal, and I found this sign hidden nearby. However, I did get stuck in this little pool of water where it was, so I had to kill myself to get out. Whose fault is it? Dude, I don't know. You're supposed to tell me. Also, this background is just a cave. How the hell am I supposed to find this? What are the odds that it's this? This kind of looks like it. This is it, isn't it? Oh, there we go. You've seen it all now. Tell me. And someone's joining a server. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, where on the world do I go if I don't have an image? You know what I mean? Oh! Oh my god. Oh.
Whose fault is it?
Oh, damn it. This is like the final thing of the ARG, isn't it? I'm supposed to know this. Okay.
Yeah,
I
duh.
feel like I have no evidence for this so far.
I like the
No idea
rattle
how
of
much I
paper
miss
in the
her. Her heart
background.
won't take it. Whose fault is it? I mean, I feel like it doesn't have to be a person, does it? All I have is her heart like, what if her heart literally gave out? This is this is so messed up. That feels like the safest response. Okay. It stopped. Do it. Okay. Do I win? Do I win the murder game? Oh, shoot. That scared me. Hello? Oh, shoot. Is this... Let me put it on speaker.
I wanted to play a game that I know the doctor played, and we had just gotten
Check out this video. Shows no video.
If you saw this playlist, what would you think of it? Maybe just an unsuccessful attempt at a survival multiplayer server? Well, the story told by this YouTube playlist is one of a server that was attacked by an unknown person or entity that caused the disappearance of every single member. We'll start at the beginning. We see one member named Copper X Mason, who appears to be the owner of the SMP, introducing the server while waiting for other people to join.
Welcome to the start of the Astral SMP. Yes, I use a voice changer because my parents are worried about the internet. I've always wanted to start a server with my buddy, and he had the idea to make this one more interesting. So I invited a bunch of people off Discord to come be a part of it.
This is the Astral SMP. So the feature Mason is talking about is the fact that players play in the same world but can't actually see each other, only the changes that each of them make to the world, which unfortunately made the server and the members incredibly vulnerable as to what was to come. Anyway, he goes AFK while he waits for people to join, and then he's suddenly jump scared when the blocks around him start to break, putting him in a hole. But this is just revealed to be another member of the server going by the name of Barry. Barry seems to be good friends with Mason. They talk back and forth for a while, and then Barry says, "Did you end up letting that one guy on?"
Oh, yeah, he's talking about Winter. Yeah, it's a guy, I don't really know him that well, but I saw him, yeah, he's like a mutual friend off Discord or something, so
Oh my gosh, my mom keeps texting me. Give me 1 second. She keeps sending me videos. Gosh, she sent me so many ominous messages. She sent me a video, said my brother's name, sent me another video, said you, sent me another video, said me. Love her. Wasn't real. Is it crazy? I'm sad it wasn't real. I get it. I get it. I get it. I kind of do get sad that some of it isn't real when it comes down to all these. But I'm happy the story was still told.
Is a huge red flag in my book. I mean, literally, he's a person who you don't know well being invited to a server where you cannot see or keep tabs on anyone. And I was sort of right, because you'll see later in this episode, Winter is a part of some weird stuff that goes down, but let's get some context first. Winter eventually hops on, and after one awkward conversation later, the server starts. Mason immediately goes mining because he says he's trying to be the first to defeat the Ender Dragon.
this is the most bananas cave I think I've ever seen.
After a shoddy attempt at a speedrun, he gets the nether and gets back, and takes a pause to introduce us to an important mechanic of this server.
Here, actually, since it's becoming nighttime, I can really quickly show off a feature where when you get in a bed, it puts you in this other mode. You can't access any of your items, but you can see people.
This aspect of the server is very important because otherwise there is no concrete way to know if anyone you're talking to is actually who they say they're talking to.
Then I
Eventually,
don't
Mason
like
makes
the
it to
art
end
for that
fortress and
one,
comes to find
so
out
I'm gonna
the
redo
portal has
that.
already been lit. He enters the portal and sees that someone is still fighting the dragon. He runs over to them and asks who it is, and we come to find out that it is Winter. The rest of the fight is normal. However, I want you to watch this clip very, very closely.
Okay, I'm watching.
No! I don't know why he like immediately left, but more XP for me, I guess. I don't know.
Did you see it? It said winter left the game, and then the arrow was shot, and you can even see the bow disappear after winter had left the game. There's no way that this could have been winter, and whoever it is lied to Mason about their identity. And that certainly
Yeah.
wouldn't be the first time that this happened on this server.
Woohoo!
That is odd. I do have to agree.
The next video on the playlist takes us over to Barry's channel for a video titled Building My Base. Barry doesn't use or own a microphone in his video, so he talks to the viewer through the chat, and he explains that he wants to build a big tower-like base near spawn so that he can see all the other bases and also tower over them. Perhaps overcompensating, but nonetheless, he goes out to gather resources for his base and runs into a new player known as Leah, who is seemingly just starting out in the world and is cutting down some trees. Barry cuts down a bunch of trees and gets to constructing his base, and I gotta say, this guy has quite the knack for building because that tower turned out great.
Nice.
There was a moment, however,
Nice.
that stuck out to me in the process of this video. As he's building a part of the house, we can see the house catch on fire, seemingly out of nowhere. Now, to be fair, it was thunderstorming at the time, and he puts out the fire, and then it strikes again, and then finally nothing. Barry tells us in chat that that shouldn't have happened because apparently he has some plugin or something that specifically makes it so lightning cannot start fires. However, what really gets me about this moment is if you slow it down, we can see the lightning is actively striking because it's bright while the fire is in frame, and there doesn't seem to be any lightning anywhere near it. However,
Yeah.
it's really hard to tell, so at the very least, this just piqued my curiosity as for what these other videos had to offer. This video opens with Mason talking about some weird stuff that had happened on the server in between episodes. Members had been noticing griefing happening to their bases, so Mason explains he's going to build a trap that will go off if anyone enters his base and he can hop in a bed and see who it is. Mason goes out to get materials to set up these traps and runs into M and J, which is a brother-sister duo that are also a part of this server. I point these people out because it's going to become very important to pay attention to who is online at any given moment going forward. Mason asks if they had seen anybody else online as of late, and they do mention that they ran into Leah, but other than that, they're not sure who else has been online. Mason takes note of Barry's new tower in the world, checks it out briefly, and then starts to get to work on the trap. It's a very simple design, but seems to do the trick, so Mason goes AFK and waits. The first doorbell ring happens when Barry comes to visit, which was apparently a pre-planned visit, so nothing surprising there. Second is a chicken that somehow managed to wander into the house, but the third time, this happens.
Jesus. Oh my god, that scared me so bad. Okay. Who is it?
Nobody.
I can't
Oh.
even see their skin.
This is bizarre for two reasons. One, because we've already established that when a player goes in spectator mode, they can see full visibility.
Oh
the
God, she
skin
sent me
of
another
the other
video
player.
saying
But
me.
In this case, we get this weird, hard to see transparent skin, which is certainly not normal. The video ends with Mason explaining that they enabled a whitelist after this and just assumed that it was a player who guessed the server IP. But this video still has a lot of time left on it, and this encounter was only the first. This video is the first of many that we will see from an unknown POV of a person wearing a carved pumpkin. We can assume that this is the same person that Mason saw at the end of the last video, but it's uploaded to a channel that's name doesn't give us much to go off of. You may have noticed that the player drinks a potion at the start of the video, and judging off the bubbles, we can tell that it's a potion of invisibility. Now,
Yes.
why would a
That
player
was-
drink a potion of invisibility?
That was my guess of what it was. That even if you do that, it would still show like a silhouette when it goes to spectator and stuff like that. So I was wondering if it was that, and it seems like it is. Nelly, can you
It's
get off
crazy how
my
one video
computer? Okay. Give me 1 second.
If you saw this playlist, what would you think of it? Maybe
Where were we?
you're Leah in first.
Alright.
not normal.
Here.
The video ends with Mason explaining that they enabled a whitelist after this and just assumed that it was a player who guessed the server IP. But this video still has a lot of time left on it, and this encounter was only the first. This video is the first of many that we will see from an unknown POV of a person wearing a carved pumpkin. We can assume that this is the same person that Mason saw at the end of the last video, but it's uploaded to a channel that's name doesn't give us much to go off of. You may have noticed that the player drinks a potion at the start of the video, and judging off the bubbles, we can tell that it's a potion of invisibility. Now, why would a player need to drink a potion of invisibility on a server where everyone is already invisible? Well, something you may not have known is that potions of invisibility also make the player hand disappear while in first person. So they're not drinking the potion for anyone in the game, it's for us as a viewer so we don't see their potentially distinctive skin and know exactly who we're watching. This player is quietly approaching a cherry house, which upon peeking inside,
That's smart
we can see
too.
that this is actually Leah's house. But hold up. How can we see Leah's skin? This player is not in a bed, not in spectator mode, so somehow this player has managed to disable the invisibility plugin. But anyway, the player opens the door and then tucks themselves behind a wall. We can hear Leah get out of the chest she was in and look around before re-closing the door. The mystery player heads back to the door, this time opening it and running inside just before Leah can close it again. The player stands there and watches Leah for just a moment until this happens. The player looks directly at Leah, Leah seems to look directly at them, and then Leah backs away and all of a sudden, boom, dead. But not dead, because if you know anything about dying in Minecraft, and look at you, you know a lot about dying in Minecraft, it typically shows like a red character that falls over. It's not just this puff of smoke. I have so many questions. Number one being, why would you even post this? But anyway, we'll move on to our next new channel, which is MJ Plays. We can of course imply that this is J and M's YouTube channel. In their first and only video, we can see them at their joint base decide to go check out Barry's base, and by check out I mean sneak in undetected to stalk and pry on him. Except I don't actually think they thought he was online, because they walk in and see him go to put something in a chest and immediately bolt out of there. Something interesting here is the two of them do get separated for a while, and then when M comes back, she says that she just went out the wrong door, and Jay asks if she closed the door behind her, and she says yes, which is fine, but Jay didn't close the door behind him. But otherwise, they just go mining for the rest of it, and I did watch all 30 minutes of this mining session. I didn't notice anything, guys. The next video is what finally gives us some concrete evidence that someone from the outside world has made it into this server. Mason starts off the video making it very clear that Leah has completely disappeared.
A member of the server has, like, fully ghosted, left the Discord, left the server, and I feel bad because I don't know if I did something.
However, Mason seems mostly excited about this little mystery on his hands and decides to do a world tour with the sub-goal of finding a base or blocks that don't exactly match someone who's supposed to be on the server. He checks out a couple of the bases and sort of wanders aimlessly until he heads to the Nether. Upon getting there, he discovers that people have made paths leading away from the portal and follows one that goes incredibly far, and when he goes out the other side, he discovers that he's back at the original stronghold that he started in episode 1. He follows these breadcrumbs, which in this case are torches, back to a house that is labeled "They're Not For You," and upon going inside, he realizes that it's very empty, almost as if it were staged.
What is up with all these fake bases? There's nothing in here.
Mason actually almost leaves before realizing that the house is substantially longer than it is deep on the inside, which clues him in on there might be something more here.
Like, is this some secret doors stuff.
It is indeed a secret door, so Mason immediately starts trying to look for a key, right?
Right here. Where?
Come on, guys. This is Minecraft. Let's be real. He uncovers a ladder and goes down for a very long time and suddenly encounters this.
What?
Pumpkin.
Oh. Oh
Pumpkin.
my god.
Now, Mason initially points this base at Winter because Winter's base is the only one that's still unaccounted for on the server, but I mean, this could be truly for a number of reasons. It could be for villager trading. It could be a reincarnation of Techno. Rest in peace. But unfortunately, the one that I think I believe the most is what Mason says right here.
Actually, maybe it is the mystery guy who's like on our server. Because when I saw him the one time, he was wearing a carved pumpkin. But like, you don't need that many pumpkins to make a carved pumpkin.
Mason is absolutely right. So whether or not this left me with more questions or fewer, I don't know. But I do know that the next video showed us a lot. We are once again in this very difficult to see POV where the person once again drinks an Invis potion and is staring at M and J's house. We actually see them decide to take off the pumpkin, which is interesting because they go inside and start talking to Jay as if they were Barry. They talk back and forth for a while before Jay suddenly becomes apprehensive and asks if this is just Mason playing a prank on him. The mystery person obviously says no, but then Jay says, okay, well, what's my full name? Everybody knows me by Jay. We can assume that this is information only Barry knows about. So when the mystery player goes to respond, they take a beat and then they write, trick question, it is just Jay. And the weird thing is they end up being right. This is extremely scary because that means this mystery person knows a lot about these people, except for the fact that Jay's kind of in their YouTube channel name, so this actually isn't really that exclusive of information, but it's still concerning. This encounter establishes a level of trust that allows for Jay to follow the mystery player into the nether. They take Jay down a long tunnel and at the end of it puts on a carved pumpkin, and this is where things start to become very familiar and we see Jay immediately disappear. But the video doesn't end this time. This time we keep watching and all of a sudden realize that M is now standing there, presumably having seen what just happened, and M turns to run. And we chase M all the way until they get to the portal, which the mystery player breaks with some lava, and then the same thing happens to M. This was not only the abduction of Jay, but also M, and M had seemingly seen what had happened, or at least seen the identity of the player, but couldn't quite get away in time. And just like that, this server's player count has been halved. So whoever is messing with these players is not slowing down, and luckily Mason's video is next, and he seems to be starting to take the situation a lot more seriously.
Basically, M and J have both completely gone MIA, which, to be fair, isn't that weird, because they're both siblings and there's a chance that their parents just like pull the plug on them playing, but overall it's a weird situation.
So Mason makes a plan. Winter's base is still the only base unaccounted for, so he asked Winter for the coordinates, Winter gave them, and Mason is sprint running to the house. He's hoping to get there before Winter has a chance to get on or hide anything that he doesn't want found, which, to be honest, I wasn't sold on his plan until things started to happen. He gets to the house and he's sneaking around on the off chance that Winter is going to get online soon. He makes his way to the basement where he sees a weirdly placed picture frame and goes through it. Lo and behold, there's a tunnel. At the end of it, a chest that has this.
What? No. This is overall, like, I don't know how much I actually. Oh my god. Please. Oh my god. I can't go up the ladder. It's telling me. He's going in. Okay, go.
If you're not keeping up, the shears are weird because they are the one tool that you need to turn a pumpkin into a carved pumpkin. But Mason is rightfully apprehensive about this because why on planet Earth would you put just shears at the end of a long tunnel? If someone wanted to hide this item, they could
That's
just
what
put
I'm
it in
gonna
an
do.
ender chest
Every
and
gameplay I play now of Minecraft, I'm gonna put shears at a long tunnel. Also, I realize I'm not very talkative right now.
would have access to.
I realized I'm not doing a lot of talking. Sorry.
With this in mind, Mason wants to go back down
I'll try and
see
talk
if
more.
Winter took the shears because that would be a bit more incriminating than just him having this weird tunnel in his house. So Mason makes his way back down, being very careful not to touch any doors or any chests, and he gets to the end.
He took it. That's so... I cannot express how... Does he know? He knows. He knows. Get out. Get...
I'd be lying if Winter didn't just become much more of a suspect, but I still cannot get over the fact that this tunnel is so poorly hidden when you can just use an ender chest, and Mason seems to share that sentiment, so he's not sure quite how to go forward with this. This video starts with the player with the carved pumpkin on their head staring at Barry's tower. This person makes their way over to the base and enters it. They make their way to the top and kind of pause for a second, and then all of a sudden, Barry
I
logs
drew
in.
my pin!
This person runs away, making their way down, and we see Barry just happens to be following them down the ladder. The person with the pumpkin quickly makes a nether portal right outside the base and goes through it, and waits on the other end for Barry, who presumably was just curious what this portal was doing there, comes through, and you
My
get
mom pulled the
gist.
plug on my playing Minecraft for the summer. I came
Mason
back
is
and all my
obviously
friends were
very
gone.
unhappy that
Sad
his best friend
experience.
is now gone.
It's not fun anymore.
I'm
It never
so
was
sorry.
fun. But truly, if you're watching this and you thought
Minecraft has never been pulled for me.
Just mess with them and kick them off. I hope you've had fun because this has sucked.
With Winter being the only other person left on the server, Mason's suspicions only grew with him, and he suspected that he would be the next one to get a visit from our pumpkin friend. So he decided as a last-ditch effort to just get any information on this guy, he would build a trap that would combine both the spectral arrow outline as well as the bed tactic, and hope that it would give him enough information to maybe identify someone based off their skin. He builds these piston traps on both of his entrances and explains that he's going to AFK right there until something happens. And before we get to what happens, we need to take a look at the next video, and this is because this is the only video that is out of chronological order. It's posted to Winter's YouTube channel and actually shows Winter's POV during the whole tunnel painting exchange in the previous episode. The video is titled "Who is Messing with Me?" and we see Winter start recording because the front door to his house was left open. We see him carefully looking through his house trying to catch someone in the act before realizing that no one is actually there. He sees a painting that he claims he didn't put there himself and decides to go through it and discovers the same tunnel that Mason did. He gets to the end, opens the chest, and lo and behold, takes the shears. He starts melting some stuff and then says he goes AFK to report this finding to the Discord server and ask if anyone had put it there. He's interrupted, however, by hearing a chest noise, which scares him enough to break the painting and block up the wall. So it turns out that this was all one big misunderstanding between Mason and Winter, and if you line up the two POVs, you can see that they do seem to line up exactly. So of course, we're back at not knowing who the hell put this tunnel there or why. I feel like I have so much evidence, but no idea what to do with it. So I had no choice but to go to the next video. We see the player staring at Winter's base, with Winter appearing to be building on the top of his roof. The player decides to ender pearl across the gap and then slowly makes their way up to the roof. Now, this time the player wastes no time in just hitting Winter over and over until he is thrown off the roof and once again disappears into a cloud of smoke. Winter was now gone. Mason is alone on a world with God knows who else and only remnants of those who were there prior. And if I were in his shoes, I'd be drop dead terrified to even be logged on to that server. But if you recall,
It just
as
keeps
all of this is
logging
going
on.
down, Mason is just AFK. So now we can finally resume where we left off in Mason's episode and see this happen.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It worked. Okay. Who are you, dude? What? No, no. I forgot the pen. Oh, no, I have some. Stop it. Stop it. Yes. Okay. Get in. Who are you? Oh my. You have got to be kidding me right now.
And that's the end of the playlist, which I don't know about you guys is not satisfactory to me at all. Like the server he owned is just gone like that. No, that's not cool with me. So I did the one thing that I could, and I got in contact with Mason. That's right, y'all. I'm a PI now. I DM'd with Mason on Discord, and he explained that his genuine guess of what happened is one of the mods that Barry downloaded from online was a sketchy website and somehow gave people access to the server. But he also said that all of his internet friends' Discords got deactivated, and he said that he actually doesn't know why that part happened. The only one out of all of the people on the server that actually made a new account and reached out to Mason again was actually Barry. I asked him if he had any more footage or anything I could look at, even though he doesn't have access to the world anymore. He said he didn't have footage, but he did still have access to the Discord server they all talked in. So, I got the invite. Here's the rundown. All of the accounts have since been deactivated besides Mason's, which makes this a lot harder to understand the discussions that are happening and who is partaking in them. But there's a conversation that goes like this.
Yo, who's online RN? I am. I'm in class RN LOL. Where you at right now, Winter? I was on like an hour ago. At my base, why?
From this moment on, we can assume that this user is Winter.
Have you been there the whole time? Wait, you were? I didn't see you get off. Yeah, I've been reorganizing my chests. How weird. Okay.
I learned two things from this. One was obviously figuring out which account was Winter's, but also that something weird happened on the server, and this user claimed to have gotten offline, but Winter didn't see it, so either Winter missed it in the chat or something else was going on. Next, I found this conversation.
Is someone in my base right now? No. I'm not even on. LMAO. I swear I heard someone open a chest or something. I'm literally at a friend's house. I can confirm she's not home.
That interaction for me confirms that this is M and J respectively, because they're the only ones who know where each other are in real life because they're siblings.
You guys, I'm actually scared someone is breaking blocks. I'm gonna log on, I wanna see this. I'll record it too. I'm not home, so it isn't me. Wait, it stopped for a second. Eve also been having weird stuff like that happening. Wait, what's happening? It went away.
This conversation is particularly confusing because it depicts an event that we didn't get to see happen, and that's most likely because it appears to have stopped just before Winter went to record it, which does interest me because it almost seems like whoever's messing with Winter got the heads up and was able to immediately stop. But either way, there's two more people that I have to... Whoa. Hello? Hello? Listen, kids, if I've learned one thing from the Scream films, just always hang up the damn phone. Anyway, we'll come back to that, but here's the final conversation.
Does anyone have extra iron I could use? I keep running out. Yeah, I have some you can have. Geez, can't you mine some yourself? Great, are you online, RN? Shut up, Jay. I'll get on right now to give it to you.
My God.
By the way, Leah,
It's 100% Mason.
left you
Yeah,
some
it's
diamonds too
100%
there in the
Mason.
chest.
This was the exact moment I needed. This other user is Leah, meaning this one is Barry. And even besides that, this conversation was the final piece of information that I needed to figure out what exactly went down on this server. And you guys are not going to believe it. What we knew was that an unknown player had logged on to this SMP and was slowly kicking off members one by one. However, I always assumed that this was some random player, but it wasn't. It was one of the members, and I didn't know which one it was until this Discord server came into the picture. But there's one big issue here, the abductions. We saw every single player get abducted, and there's no way to move two Minecraft characters simultaneously.
But one of those abductions didn't have two characters moving simultaneously. As a matter of fact, when you look back at it, you can see it's almost like someone is switching back and forth to control both characters. The same person who knew fire spread was off, the person whose base was specifically made to be a watchtower over the rest of the server, and most importantly, the person who consistently uses the wrong form of there whenever we see them type a message. It was no mistake that Barry was the only one to reach back out to Mason after his account got forcibly deactivated, and I believe that from the get-go, Barry never liked the idea of this SMP. It took away one-on-one time that he would typically get with Mason playing games like Bed Wars. So Barry offered an idea to make the server more interesting.
I've always wanted to start a server with my buddy, and he had the idea to make this one more interesting.
Barry even volunteered to code the mod for Mason, specifically adding a feature where if you put on a carved pumpkin, you wouldn't be entirely visible.
Maybe it
even if
might be
someone was
Barry.
looking at you in a bed, which made it easy for Barry to go one by one, banning members and mass reporting their Discord accounts in just an inconspicuous enough way that made it seem like they all decided to ghost everyone. But his mistake was forgetting that he needed to get rid of J and M at the same time, considering that they were living in the same house. And when he did, it immediately raised red flags. So Barry knew he needed a cover-up. So he decided to frame Winter, hoping that Mason would see it and end up asking to ban Winter all by himself, and then it would just be the two of them again. However, it didn't quite convince Mason.
There's no reason to hide shears at the end of a tunnel like that. Like, that's so on the nose.
So he took his recordings of the first 3 abductions, along with a framed recording of himself getting abducted, and posted them all to YouTube. Now, this of course required him to deactivate his own Discord account just to clear himself of any wrongdoing. And lastly, he took care of Winter and ended the SMP once and for all. All he had to do was reach out to Mason from a new Discord account, and he got to be the one nice friend who didn't actually decide to ghost Mason. This was truly, really well done. And his only mistake was leaving up a YouTube playlist that compiled the bizarre events in just a way that piqued the curiosity of a bored YouTuber in need of content.
Hey guys, if you don't know already, I was on an SMP that had a bunch of weird stuff happen, but it ended up ending abruptly, and nearly all the members ended up disappearing. It turns out that it wasn't just a random hacker messing with the world. It was all orchestrated by a friend of mine, Barry. It turns out I was like his only friend. There was some vaguely parasocial stuff going on there, and I won't get into it, but obviously a lot of damage was done. Barry became like a different version of himself in order to like keep having what he thought he needed. But if you put on a mask and change who you are for someone, you slowly become almost like blind to who you used to be. And the whole time on the server, I would have sworn that there was a 7th player who had somehow logged onto the server without me knowing. And to be honest, I think I ended up kind of being right, because that mystery guy, that wasn't my friend. I mean, my friend might as well have gone missing along with the rest of the server. And I don't think I'll really be hearing from him again.
Oh? That was an ending. That was an ending. Huh. I mean... Huh.
It's
crazy
I
how
don't know
one
what else to
video
say,
can make
but
you lose
huh.
trust in map makers and internet downloads altogether. I mean, creating a world that illegally accesses your microphone and then uses AI to adapt your voice and speech patterns? Whoa! Doesn't exactly scream someone who I trust to babysit my dog. But the real question here, is this video fake and the Minecraft world a fraud? And what happens when I download the world myself to take a look at it? The video
By the
claims
way,
to have found the world through a Reddit
so
thread, which we can see for a split.
I am about done actually with Cat. Right now, I'm gonna show you guys what Cat looks like. Here we go. I feel a bit bad that I am not being talkative, which I promise you I will here soon. But look at Cat. That will be part of my model. That is part of my model. My 2.0 model. Oh, look at Cat. I have the coloring done for that one, obviously. The other two, the coloring is not done. It's almost done. It's almost done. So, yes. And I need to add the tail. That is something I need to do. I'll write that down. Add tail. Alright. Yeah, it feels like he doesn't know how to end them, kinda. Let me see here. Let me see here. How about this? Like, I like the ideas of all these. I'm pretty sure this is the one dude that we watched before, actually. Wait a second, let me see here. Yeah, so this is the one that we watched of the last time with, wait, let me see here. Let me double check. Yeah, so this is the one where we watched about the Alpha Minecraft channel with the two kids. This is the same channel. But that is a bit odd why that's happening. Because the editing was really good and the endings were good. I don't know. Yeah. I wasn't showing YouTube. Wait. Let me find it. Where did YouTube go? There we go. Catway. Okay, so we watched this, and then we watched this world. This world changes every time I log out, and then we watch the creepy live streams calling out for help. That is what those two were. The creepy Minecraft and then this one. So those two coincide with each other, and that's what those were. With the two children. But we like that the world changes every time I log out. And then we just watched this one, which is released 3 weeks ago. And then we watched that one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I think we were working on this one now. Let me see here. How about we're gonna pull up Vin's recommendations. Because Vin had some recommendations, and let's see here. We're gonna add this to queue. Add this to queue. Add this to queue. And then we need one more, which... What is this? We're gonna have to come back to that. And then we need to get last message before this mysterious appearance. So we're gonna add this to queue. The Minecraft player trapped in a loop. That was the last one that Vin recommended. And we're going to add that. Because we can skip the ones that I added beforehand, which actually I did have this one looked at. Alright, so... Okay. Here's what we got. So we're on this one. Vin recommended this one. And it looks like this might be 4 parts, question mark? Maybe not, I don't know. We'll see. And then Vin recommended this one, and I just saw that one. So... yeah. Let's get into it. Let's see what Vin has recommended. Oh, be quiet. You're fine. You're fine. Me and my best friend.
Every day, building cool projects, making jokes, and just having the time of your life. But one day, your friend starts acting strange. Just before you can figure out why, he disappears. And when you start looking for answers, so do you. But it wasn't just a random disappearance, right?
Hello. I hope you don't mind me reaching out, but I don't know who else to turn to. My son Noah and his friend Axel have been missing for several days now. I've tried contacting their close friends, but no one has seen or heard from them. The police and local authorities haven't responded either. The last time I spoke to Noah, we had an argument while he was playing Minecraft with Axel. I've been going through some of Noah's messages, and one of the last things he left was a link to Axel's channel. I'm starting to worry something's happened to them both. If you can, could you take a look? Anything would help. I'm scared and don't know what else to do.
At first sight, I didn't think much of this message. It seemed like a generic plea for help, possibly someone trying to gain attention. After all, missing people often disappear for personal reasons, and this seemed like something too private to make public. But something about it gained my curiosity, and I took a closer
Curiosity,
look.
I like how you say
I
that.
can now certify that
Look how you say that.
the incident involving these two friends is definitely something abnormal.
Okay. We're gonna take a break from my model. We're gonna save first. Alright. And we're gonna get this cover off of me because it's hot. So hot. Okay. Hello? Okay. Loki, one of my fears is disappearing and no one looks for me.
And it all starts with this
Kinda not for me. I mean, it would suck. It would suck, but wherever I am, I'm there. I don't know.
video. Axel and Noah are playing on a Minecraft world, chatting about the Minecraft movie. In a quick shift, Axel mentions that they've had this world since 2014.
You know, I almost got kidnapped twice when I was younger.
A small detail, but one that would stick with me later. They go on to chatting about school for a little while. Normal stuff, nothing unusual. Axel suggests they go mine for resources, and while walking down some type of ravine, we see this conversation. I still have our old world files too, lol. On that flash drive? Yeah. Axel mentions that he has some old world files saved on flash drive. As they leave the ravine, they cross a bridge and reach a base they have built entirely out of beds. It looks and sounds kind of strange, but they don't say much about it and just keep moving. Axel heads off to the right to find a cave, with Noah following close behind. Then a moment later, Noah says this. Wait, what were we talking about? It's a normal question on its own, but compared to the start of the video, Noah's tone feels a little different. Earlier he was more talkative and expressive. Here it's like he's starting to trail off. Axel's movements also starts glitching out a bit, though he mentions in the description that he's using an old keyboard, which honestly might explain a lot, because when your gear can't keep up, weird stuff happens. That's why I use the hex gears in
No,
version 3.
no, 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 no.
If the video, it cuts off as Axel and Noah disappear deeper into the mines. And by this point, I was beginning to question whether there was anything of substance here. If these recordings would actually reveal what happened to them, or if I was just wasting my time. However, the second video is where things begin to escalate. It begins with Axel alone in the world, and right at the start he says this. Noah has been inactive for like 3 days. He hasn't been replying to my DMs. It's a sudden shift from the casual conversations in the first video, but things get stranger. He explains that the last time they played, Noah just left without saying anything. On its own, this still could be normal. Maybe he got disconnected or something came up, but it's important to keep this in mind. Axel goes inside Noah's base and looks through his chest to find a notebook. He takes it out and opens it to reveal some random letters and numbers, but right as he does so, Noah joins the game. Axel immediately stashes the notebook back in the chest and rushes outside to talk to Noah, but before he can say much, an Enderman appears out of nowhere and starts attacking him. After barely surviving, Axel finally asks him how has he been doing. Despite that, something is still off. Noah's responses feel strange, like he's not really okay. Axel doesn't waste any time and asks
Oh my god, I
Noah
keep
why hasn't he
yawning.
been responding to his Discord messages. Noah responds by claiming he has been working on something. Trying to lighten the mood, Axel jokes, wondering if he means he's working on something in Minecraft. But Noah simply responds, "You wouldn't get it." It's a small trade of words, yet something
Here's a secret,
feels
don't tell anyone, but I'm afraid of the dark. I won't tell anyone, Taka. I won't tell a single soul. I promise you.
very odd about it, though.
It's okay, I'm afraid of people.
So a few seconds of silence later, Noah says this.
Sometimes people don't come back, you know?
The conversation here is weird. To put it mildly, Axel seems a little thrown off by how Noah's acting and asks if he's okay. Noah just replies with a
Well, I'm not
don't.
afraid of the dark and afraid of what's in the dark. Okay. That's reasonable. That is beyond reasonable to be afraid of. Also, good job not getting kidnapped. The first time it was me and my aunt. She is 4 years older than me, by the way. So we were walking down the street together. We had just gotten ice cream together at the store that is I want to say a couple blocks from where I used to live. It was a couple blocks. It was a walk, but one that was manageable enough for 2 kids to do. So I want to say maybe I was about 4, she was about 8. So we just got an ice cream, we were walking home, and this person drives up to us and they're like, "Hey, you want me to drive you home?" We live super close, so we were just like, we're good. We're good. We are fine. We're good. We can walk from here. We're good." And they're like, "No, no, I got it. Don't worry. Just jump in. I got you. Come on." And me and my aunt did not recognize this person at all, but they just kept on insisting on getting us home themselves. But after a lot more of resistance from us, they finally left us alone. Which we were far enough away from the house that we could see our street, per se. We could see our street, basically. So we knew we were super close and that we did not need a ride. But yeah, we did not know that person at all. And then mentioned to my mom, who was taking care of both of us, she had no idea who it was. So yay. And then one other time, when I was little, it was me alone this time. I don't know how old I was, but this man, funny enough, this man in a white van came up to, drove up to me. I was in the front yard, and the guy in the white van drove up, and he was like, "Hey, can you help me find my lost puppy?" And by the way, I understood English. I didn't speak it that well, though. So you could talk to me, but half of the stuff that was coming out of my mouth was you couldn't understand it. You couldn't understand it. It was pure gibberish. So I tell the guy, "Yeah, let me go ask my mom. Let me go ask my mom if I can look for your puppy." And so this guy listened to me say something to him that was not English, it sounded like, and run inside. He left the premises so quick. I went to my mom and like, "Hey, this guy's asking me to help find his puppy, and he's in a white van." And she's like, "What?" And she goes outside and she's like, "There's no white van here anymore." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was right there." And she's like, "Yeah, you're staying inside today." And I'm like, "Okay, sounds good." Great. Those were my 2 times I remember. If there was another time, I do not remember it. I don't remember what the people looked like. In both instances, I can't speak English in general now. In both instances, I don't remember what the person looked like at all. Um, I have a bad memory for faces, like terrible memory. Like today, someone came, I talked to them. They came up to me, I talked to them, and then they left and they came back like an hour later and I did not recognize the person at all. And they're like, "Oh, hey again." And I was like, "Huh? Who are you? Who are you?" Instances. Yeah. There we go. Thank you. When I was a kid and we walked to the store, they usually made the older kids bring the dog with us so people would stay away. We didn't have a dog. I didn't get a dog until I was about 8, and it was a pit bull. Well, I did have a dog beforehand, but that is a sad story because she did not get to be the age of a dog. She stayed a puppy. Let's just go with that. So, but yeah, it wasn't until about like 7 or 8, I think it was like 8, that I got a pit bull. People stayed away from me when I walked that dog, let me tell you. People stayed away. People stayed a mile away.
Already odd. It's the type of thing you say when you want someone to drop it, but it feels way too cold for a casual Minecraft chat. Axel clearly isn't satisfied, so he tries again, asking, "Are you busy with school or what?" Noah says no, that's it, nothing else. Trying to keep things friendly, Axel jokes.
Alright, well, at least talk with me when you have the free time to, lol.
He even starts typing, "You've been ignoring me," but doesn't send it. It probably felt too harsh, and honestly I get it. This whole exchange feels super awkward. Like when you're trying to talk to your best friend who just isn't acting like themselves. It's the small things like this that make you start to realize that something is wrong. Not necessarily dangerous, but just wrong. And even though Axel moves on from it, you can tell it's starting to bother him. As a final effort to just get through to him, Axel says this.
You seem tired. This ain't an insult, but why are you so dry?
It's an honest and valid question, but just like before, Noah completely brushes it off. He tells Axel it's none of his business and just starts to follow him. A few minutes later though, something strange happens. Noah suddenly asks,
"Do you still have that thing from 2014?
Axel, confused, responds,
"What thing?"
But before anything else, Noah just leaves the game. No explanation, no goodbye, nothing. And what makes this even weirder is the fact that up until now the video had been pretty normal, but this moment leaves one question lingering over everything else. What is going on with Noah? I mean, there is clearly
what's going on with Noah?
and pairing it with the informative description, it's safe to say that whatever is going on here is not normal. Though normal or not, we still don't get any information on how either of them went missing. Or do we? Looking back through the video, there is something we completely skipped over. The contents of the notebook Axel found. Inside, we see these randomly placed letters and numbers, but when you piece them together, it becomes clear that this is hexadecimal. By separating the characters into pairs and converting them into text, we end up with an 11-character sequence. At first, I assumed this was a YouTube URL, but pasting it led nowhere. As a final effort,
I'm gonna make a YouTube URL that's that, so that when people try, they just get linked to my videos.
It did. Plugging this in gave us a video on Noah's own channel. The video begins with Noah in a dark room facing another player named NP. And believe me, this video is quite terrifying.
You are not responding again. That is not wise. You will understand the terms, Noah.
Something's not right here. It's clear that NP wants Noah to do something, but whatever it is, it's no good. By the way he speaks, it's almost like he's making Noah choose between something terrible
thank God, it was too dark.
Silence will not protect them, Noah.
Noah opens the chat to see a ton of spammed messages that say "listen to us," which is quite odd, but NP has a lot more to say.
Time is something you don't have. Follow the protocol.
Noah finally responds slowly by saying as long as no one gets hurt, but this NP player tells him that it all depends on him. He asks Noah to upload the video and include some type of message. However, then he says this.
Make him follow it.
Noah responds saying that he can't because he will get to know. Then, around 20 seconds of silence later,
Then they shall witness pain firsthand. His life is no longer yours to gamble.
we have absolutely no idea what's going on. Although assuming he has no other way out of this situation, Noah hesitates but types,
I agree to the terms.
NP responds to this with a rather unsettling message.
Very well, the file shall arrive soon. You post it, say nothing. We will be watching.
What did we just watch? Who is NP and why are they forcing Noah to upload some type of video? Who is the he they are talking about? Is it Axel or is it someone else? Just what is going on? Weirdly enough, this video has no hints to anything. No Morse code despite the static notes in the background, no description, and absolutely no hidden messages anywhere. We can go back and forth on this conversation. These messages from NP suggest that something shady is going on behind this story. It's clear that some of these are threats too, especially with lines like silence will not protect them. But if we are ever going to make sense of this, we have to move on to Axel's next video.
His appearance.
Axel appears to be on the same survival world, alone. He walks into his house and then begins to type to us.
It's been a few days since Noah last talked to me. It's odd, but I got something way odder that I didn't expect today.
Axel tabs out of the game while opening his chest and brings up a screenshot, a message from Noah's mother.
Hello, this is Noah's mother. Sorry if this message is a disturbance to you, but Noah hasn't returned home for around 4 days at this point. I am quite worried that he took an argument too seriously. I asked him to get a proper job since all he does is rot away on his phone. He probably took it the wrong way.
This is clearly quite off, and it confirms that Noah did go missing. But why? You can tell that Axel is starting to get a little bit shaken up. He says he's worried that maybe Noah was acting cold because of the argument with his mom. It's possible that's why he was so distant in Axel's last video, but I can't help but think something much darker is going on. Axel assures that he will update us after a few days of waiting, and the video cuts to black. But if we want to know what happened to Noah and how he disappeared,
We have to look at this
it's going to have to
untitled
be
video.
the final video on Axel's channel. Axel is once more by himself in the world at the start of the video. He informs us that Noah still hasn't returned and that everything seems strange these days. However, precisely 1 minute and 44 seconds later, we get this. Noah joins the game, sends in some type of link and leaves without saying a single word. The link leads to a screenshot on Reddit, which is extremely ominous, and it appears to be Noah in a dark room. This screenshot has a lot going on to decode.
Whoa.
So stick with me as we go through it slowly. The first thing we notice is this chat message, and something immediately sticks out. Noah's name has changed and now has an NP right next to it. And what is strange is the chat message itself.
USB drive.
If you've been following along, you'll remember that Noah's been hinting at something dating back to 2014. And yeah, I know it sounds a little far-fetched, but what if that thing from 2014 is the USB drive? Either way, what does this mean and why does Noah want Axel's USB drive? What does it contain? Looking behind Noah in the screenshot, we can actually spot 4 signs. The first one immediately stood out to me because it's not just some random text, it's in cipher, specifically in Seesaw cipher shifted by 7. When you decode it, it reads null path. Now, we don't really know what this means yet, but considering the NP next to Noah's name, it's probably safe to assume that this is what it stands for. And if that's the case, whatever null path is, it seems like Noah's gotten himself involved with it. The second and third signs are kind of weird. One of them says give it back, and the other one says Axel Cameron. Now, putting those together, it almost sounds like someone's asking for something Axel has. And if we connect this to the message Noah sent, USB drive, it's probably safe to assume that that's what they are after. But here's where things get strange. The way it's worded, give it back almost makes it sound like the USB drive was originally theirs, which doesn't make a whole lot of
No,
sense. Why would
no.
Axel have something like that, and why?
I think NPU is saying give it back more likely, I'd say. Not Noah. That would not make sense. I think Noah would be chill about Axel having it. I think that's what is up, yo. My name is Scarlet White, yo.
Is it so important to them? There's still a lot we don't know here.
Yeah.
What we can say for sure is the fact
Yeah.
that this isn't just a normal missing person situation anymore. The final sign, though, this is where I got extremely confused. It looked
Don't
like
worry,
a
I will not be
long
confused.
sequence, which could be a YouTube URL, but it didn't seem to work no matter what
Lol.
I did. I tried shifting it through a lot of ciphers and even tried base 64, just in case it was encoded differently, though nothing I tried worked. Leaving that aside for now, what really stood out here was Axel's reaction to this whole thing. After seeing the screenshot, he tells us that he genuinely doesn't understand why Noah is so obsessed with this USB drive. According to Axel, it's just filled with old junk from, 2014. And that's the same year this whole story seems to keep circling back to, which I don't know about you, but that feels a little too specific to be a coincidence. But then Axel brings up something I think a lot of us were already wondering. Why is Noah logging into Minecraft at all? I mean, his family is contacting Axel, completely worried sick, saying he's been missing for days. And yet here he is dropping cryptic screenshots and leaving ominous messages in a game server. Where is he logging in from and what is he doing? Nothing about this adds up, right?
Noah, what is all this? What is going on? Are you good, dude? Yes. Nothing like this has happened for all the 10 years I've known you. Your mother keeps calling me. That does not matter. It's safer this way. What the hell is wrong with you? What do you need to know, man? Just tell me. Good night.
Noah joins the game, tells Axel it's safer this way, and the video ends. What just happened? It's clear that Noah's changed a lot. The way he speaks, the way
He went
casually mentions
yoink.
that it doesn't matter that his mother is asking where he is, like it's no longer important. Like he's somewhere he can't explain. And with no way of knowing where he went or what any of this means, I was sure I had to tell Noah's mother there was no way to find out where he went. But for a split second, something stopped me. I felt like giving that weird love and character sequence from the screenshot one last shot. I tried a simple flip of the characters, just reversing the order, and it worked. It led to another video from Noah, more specifically Noah
should have known.
_NP. This one is unsettling.
Have you done it yet?
Not yet.
Time is not on your side again.
Noah and the NP players seem to be on a world, and what follows is probably one of the most uncomfortable conversations in this entire story. Noah tells NP that this is his natural way of doing things, slowly, though NP responds saying what nonsense, and he will only give him a few more days. A few more days for what? It's clear that whatever they are planning isn't something small, but it gets worse. The next few messages completely change the way you see this story.
The more time passes, the more money you lose.
How much exactly?
$100,000 per day.
That's when it clicks. If you remember, Noah's mother said he disappeared after an argument about getting a real job. And this is no ordinary job, it's something way darker. Noah tries to negotiate, asking NP to slow down the deduction rate, but NP quickly shuts him down. I was curious to just how much money this NP guy was willing to pay Noah for whatever he wants him to do. And that is when we get this chat message.
As long as it stays above 500,000.
$500,000. That's the kind of money at stake here for whatever they are making Noah do. NP agrees to this and the video ends with one final clip. And that's it. Yet again, we're at a dead end with nowhere to go. But stepping back for a second, let's just think about what we've actually seen. 4 videos, 4 strange, unsettling clips. We've got Noah logging into Minecraft while supposedly missing, sending creepy screenshots, leaving weird messages, talking about USB drives and having cryptic conversations with someone named NP. But But the strange thing is, through all of this, there's nothing about Axel. Remember, it was Noah's mother who originally reached out, saying both Noah and Axel went missing. And yet, video after video, it's all Noah. Not one solid clue about where Axel is. What happened to him? Or even what part did he play in this whole thing? It's like he's been wiped out from the story entirely. And honestly, that felt intentional. So I did what anyone would do. I went back and rewatched every single video frame by frame. And that's when I noticed something. Right as Noah threw Axel down the pit in the final video, we see this crash screen. Everything might seem completely normal, but looking twice,
there's letters. There's letters.
Hidden. This leads straight to what we all want to know. Nullpad's channel. If there is any information on how Axel and
There's
Noah
letters.
eventually go silent, this was it.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, is if Noah... Hi, Millie. Come here. Come here. Right here. Right here. I'm not picking you up. Right here. Yes. Come here. Come here. Come here. You gotta jump up. Come on. Come on. Hi, honey. You want purr? Right in the microphone. Yes, purr in the microphone. I love when she purrs. I hope you guys can hear it when I'm talking, because she's loud. Hi there, honeys. Let's watch. Let's watch. But yeah, I think Noah kidnapped Axel. Or something with Axel specifically. Definitely not his family, but Axel. Yes,
Notice,
Millie.
Class 5 asset restriction in effect. The following archive footage is designated under Nullpath Internal Security Protocol NP18 USC 1203 Class 5.
While watching this video, we learn a lot of things, and it's clear that whatever Nullpath is, it's some part of the government. It's apparent because the only people who are allowed to watch this video are Nullpath's internal agents, government-sanctioned surveillance officers, FBI operatives with a Level 7 classification, and pre-authorized Department of Anomalous Activities staff. Watching this video is such a big risk factor as it will result in immediate investigation, though it can go as far as deportation from the United States itself. This sounds extremely unsettling. Offenders can face life imprisonment.
Really? Oh my god, you're so happy.
Nullification of digital identity and removal from public records. Right as the final warning is given though, we get this extremely interesting section that you must pay close attention to.
Okay, I'm paying attention.
Implies full acceptance of risks. You have been warned. Employee archival footage. Case file.
What if I skipped all that part?
053. Timestamp. Redacted. Status. Under review.
We hear Axel's name and he seems to be part of whatever case file this is. The video then cuts to this. Axel's files, right there on Nullpath's system. One by one, the person recording starts opening them, and then they stop at the very bottom of the list. USB drive.ax data. It's locked. How? How does Nullpath even have this? This is the same USB we've been chasing this entire story. The one Axel was carrying. If they've accessed everything else, but this is still locked, whatever is on it has to be huge. Something else we didn't notice is the name of this channel.
No, I saw.
18 USC section 120. This section of the name is a statute to implement the International Convention against the taking of hostages.
Wait, let me talk real quick. Look at Millie. Millie, can you hear her purr? Can you hear her purr? I hope you can. I really hope you can, because she's like a motor. I love it.
That has to do with this is still in the dark. Speaking of the USB though, we are right on the edge of finding out, so we have to move on to the next video. But it's not as easy as it sounds. In the description we see a bunch of nodes, random information and more warnings. We notice Noah's name again and another mention of the USB drive. And right under the code log part there's this. Q, J, K, S, B, U and a whole string of letters that look like complete nonsense. But this isn't random. It
You
says
can, good.
sequence aligned within layer 3 file
Cause
access,
she is
which
loud.
means it's hiding something. So
It
I
adds
ran it through a
ambiance.
cipher shift of
Like
7,
cat is
and just
purring.
like that, it
Right
turned
here.
into another URL. And this takes us straight to the next video. This video is horrifying. It begins with someone joining into a world, and within seconds we get messages from Axel.
What? Hello? Noah, is this you? Dude, Noah, this is not funny.
Axel keeps talking to himself, thinking it's Noah, but whoever just joined the game doesn't respond. They don't move, they don't even look around, they just stare directly at him. And this is where
Is that right there, Axel?
it gets worse. Apparently it's been weeks
Yeah, it
since
is.
Noah disappeared, and we already know that whatever's happening, he's not behind it. Because it's someone that we are familiar with. NP. He types in Axel's full name, and Axel reacts in disbelief, even mentioning that no one ever knew his full name. Although NP goes on to ask an important question.
Where is it? The drive.
This is the first time in the whole series where someone directly asks Axel about the USB drive, and then Axel responds. He tells NP the flash drive is his, that it's with him right now. But he doesn't stop there. He wants NP to stay away. After all these videos, we still don't know what is inside this thing and why is a secret government organization after a mere USB drive. But what happens after this?
It's the Hero
Well,
Brines.
just watch it for yourselves.
Yes,
Don't try
Mindy,
and
it's
mess
the Hero
around, Axel
Brines.
Cameron. Give it to us.
What?
No. The audio in this clip is chilling. We can hear the creak
Oh,
of a door
audio.
opening,
Like how
followed
you
by
say
a
that.
muffled voice saying what? No. And then there's a loud, sickening thud. It almost sounds like something heavy has struck Axel, or worse, someone. The description is where things get twisted though.
Classified field operation log. Tier 7 plus clearance only. Operation
Millie.
Final Trace.
Millie.
Axel Cameron, case 314th
There
A.
you go.
Physical extraction of subject completed. Assets
Ah.
secured without public exposure. Target's personal files and hardware confiscated, including USB A13 redacted. Mission result. Subject status. In custody. USB device recovered.
Aww.
Day 1. Nullpath has the USB drive, and they've taken Axel into custody. How did they find him? How did they track him down so quickly? It doesn't add up. Axel's life is in their hands now, all because of a damn USB drive. What's on it? What's worth all of this? We still don't know. But whatever it is, it's enough to make them do anything to keep it. They've taken Axel, and who knows what else they are willing to do, just to make sure that drive stays with them. Axel has been taken, and we've reached the end. I almost closed the tab. I really thought that this was it. But something didn't sit right. So
By the way, after this video, I wanted to watch the other ones, but not hear the purrs. Oh, you cannot hear the purrs. Oh, so disappointing. But yeah, after this video, I need sleep. I've been lacking sleep for days now.
I scrolled back through the description, and that's when I saw it. A single line that I had somehow skipped over. Right near this access code reference, we
There's
notice
8 minutes
another
left, and it'll
URL. It leads to
turn
one
into
final
more
video
than that. I
on
know
our
it will.
channel.
At least 20.
This is it. The video begins with this, the Nullpath Secure Terminal. And judging by what this says, it's clear that this is an employee or someone who is on the Nullpath. They paste in a password and gets access to this, the USB drive, though it still seems to be locked. This unknown person presses on the USB drive, only to get hit with this.
Enter USB file password.
They tried 3 passwords, but all ultimately failed to open this and their session is terminated. Access to it is completely locked. The video ultimately ends here, but the story has one final stretch and it all lies in the description. We notice that the person who got terminated from accessing the USB is an unidentified high-ranking Nullpath operative, and it claims that Nullpath succeeded in retrieving the USB but has failed to unlock it. Despite that, the operation will be marked complete and the USB, well, it will be transferred to Vault 0x77. Nullpath must secure undisclosed containment facility. But what happened to Axel? What happened to Noah? What on earth did Nullpath do to them? The story can't just end here, right? There's no way we can just lose them. What can I tell Noah?
That is so weird. I just got a notification from my watch. And it says the phone number and not the contact information. I know who it is because of my last message. That's weird.
Noah's mother. If I came this far though, it's not a time to give up. We must find them somehow. I watched all of Nullpath's videos again, hoping I would get a single clue, and sadly I got nothing. Except every time we were meant to move forward in the Nullpath channel, the link to the next video was buried in.
Fun fact about me real quick. I don't like notification noises from my phone. I don't like it. And I don't like the feeling of like silent mode on my phone either. I don't like when it vibrates, but I'm okay if the watch does. I'm okay if it does that. But I don't like when my phone does it. I don't know why.
The description. That makes no sense. These videos are encrypted, locked down. Why leave breadcrumbs unless someone wants them found? I went back to the final video and decided to look under user nodes. That's when I saw it, a hexadecimal sequence. Converting each hex pair into its ASCII character, it gives us this useless sequence. But only shifting the letters by a cipher shift.
Yeah, my phone is always on silent. It's been living on silent for years now.
Gives us the final video in the series, which is on Noah's channel. And if there is any hope left, if there's any chance we are gonna find out what happened to them, it has to be in there.
Itchy
what we
arm.
see in this video is absolutely
Handshake.
horrifying. Nullpath's missions and experiments are nothing short of cruel. Removal of birth records, corrupted personal project files to induce psychological breakdowns, blackmail material for political and financial manipulation, false documentation, all of which are many of the horrible things Nullpath is responsible for doing. But at the very end, we see it.
Description: a USB device intercepted containing critical operation logs, financial trails, and internal communications from Nullpath's classified cases between 2012 to 2022. Threat level: maximum. Exposure risk equals complete organizational collapse, legal prosecution of 47 high-ranking individuals, and international fallout. Status: under urgent lockdown. Target must be identified.
This confirms that the USB contains critical logs and more information on Nullpath. It doesn't have any mention on how Axel got his hands on it, but this is not all, because right below this we see this. Apparently, the USB contains
video evidence of illegal experiments on dissident subjects, documents proving direct involvement in orchestrating disappearances, faked deaths and corporate espionage, financial ledgers detailing bribes to federal and underground officials, internal memos ordering erasures of dissenters and data fabrications, surveillance footage of unauthorized home intrusions and data breaches.
It also mentions if leaked, it would dismantle Nullpath's existence and expose its underground and governmental affiliations. What would they do to cover this up, you might ask?
Axel Cameron to be located, isolated, and silenced immediately. Disinformation campaign authorized.
The video comes to a close, but we have got ourselves a lead, because what this description contains is nothing short of insanity.
Everything Nullpath has built is on the brink of collapsing. Axel's barely holding on, and I'm running out of time. If anyone's going to stop this, they need to act fast before they get to us. I didn't mean for it to go this far, but if you're seeing this, it's already too late to turn back. There's only one chance left, and that's if someone out there can finish what I started. I did this for money, and even though I got over 634,000 for my contribution, I wanna end it all. I can't leave Axel. He can't leave either. If we don't get out now, it'll be the end. If you're reading this, you know what to do. You have to pull the trigger, or we are both gone. It's too late to warn the others. The clock's ticking, but you are still here. You still have a chance to fix this. nullpathoverrideterminal.net.
I plugged in the link to this, and
End protocol. Do it. Push the button. Push the button. It's red. Oh. Don't worry. We got the password. We got it. No password. Subscribe.
Minecraft is one of the calmest games ever made. You build, you explore, and sometimes you even forget you're alone. Everything that happened before, yet here it was.
Oh, it
in
is a
single-player
continuation.
world. But they didn't come here by accident. They came with a message.
Okay. Okay. This... We'll come back to this. We will come back to this. I can promise you that. Yeah, there's much more added onto this. And Vin linked like 4 videos total. So I think there's 3 more. Dog bathroom before. Yay! I don't even know how to end stream, I'll be honest. I don't know where the button is or anything. But you have a good night. Take your dog out to the bathroom. Everyone else, have a good night. Have a good night. Good night. How do I end stream? How do I end?